So today's video is going to be a perspective shift, a reframe that I'm working with myself on people pleasing. A lot of us grew up with people pleasing tendencies, right? We didn't get the right appropriate amount of love, care, support, adoration when we were growing up, so which ended up in us like really grasping and reaching for love, rightfully so. And something that I've been working with in my own system and in my own body is somatically changing the posture of like how I see people pleasing, right? Internally, when I think of people pleasing, I really think of this like drought like state, right? You're always like constantly like seeing how you're being perceived. It's like this dryness because you're always outsourcing your energy from other people, right? Constantly reaching, constantly like never feeling like this fulfillment within because you're always like eyeing on how you're being perceived, like how you're being judged, like is everyone happy? It's like that kind of narrative, right? Instead, I started reframing this with myself with instead of centering my life around people, decentering my life around people, right? But centering my life around this like unconditional love, this source energy, this God energy, this permission field that opens up when you actually engage with this energy, right? Because this is like, instead of drought, think of this energy as this like fertile ground. From that place, anything that grows, life becomes this creative expression that gets to grow and gets to flow because you are rooted. That is the reframe, right? But let me tell you the shift that I've seen in my life with this reframe. I've been able to relax so deeply into my beingness because this life, this spiritual practice, the devotional practice, whatever it is, doesn't then get to just be like 1 hour when I'm like in my mat or 1 hour of like me closing my eyes, but this engaging with life on a moment to moment basis, right? On an instinctive basis where everything that I do is a spiritual expression. Then life becomes magnetic. You become magnetic, right? And at the end of the day, if we truly think about it, right? The only legacy you'll ever leave behind, ever, is your frequency. Is your frequency, and that frequency is so felt. And I again want to say this, like, this is really not about the other person, right? This is about giving yourself the permission to do whatever you please. Whatever you please. And it's never about the outcome. So really decentering from people takes that outcome piece away, right? Takes that like outcome piece away. And it just like is about this enjoyment of this journey of like just becoming, right? Of this journey of like just coming home to ourselves in a deeply peaceful way. Another thing that happens is we get to come off of this like hamster wheel of like always trying to be better, always trying to like improve ourselves, always trying to like always, right? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, right? But obsessing over always fixing yourself, I've been there before, is also a type of problem, right? When you root yourself in this unconditional love, this source energy, this God energy, and only do things to please yourself and to please the divine, life changes, let me tell you. And creativity then gets to be your lifestyle, really just you offering yourself to this mystery of life, right? There's so much beauty in this. There's so much like poetic wisdom in this when you center your life around the deepest mystery of life, right? There's so much happening outside that we have no idea about. When we root ourselves in that truth, this is just my own personal perspective. When I think of life, I think of, our biggest mission is to really just take love where it hasn't gone, expand our capacity for love. So when you root yourself in your identity as a love, literally unconditional love, that is your identity, right? Then there is no striving, there is no reaching, then there is no fighting yourself, right? Then there is this deeply rested state that you get to dance in, that you get to play with, that you get to be sensual with, right? There's so much pleasure that opens up when we truly engage in life this way. And this process of like deep feminine remembering of our divine identity gets to be super slow, right? This is not like a 10-page journal that you write and you're done. This is not a letting go practice that you do and you're done, right? People pleasing runs deep. So this is almost as slow as like imagine like reaching to each one of your soul and letting them know that they are enough. That's how, there's like trillions of cells, right? So it's a very, very gentle, so slow process, right? You have to be super patient with yourself, and the awareness will start working on your behalf, right? Anytime you bring something to your awareness and you light it up, it starts bringing forth ways that you can practice this, right? I feel complete with what I wanted to share. And something that I want to leave you with is this idea that oftentimes people pleasing does hold us back from like actually trying, because oftentimes people pleasing goes hand in hand with perfectionism, right? So I'm here to tell you, you do not have to come perfectly to anything, right? You do not have to do anything perfectly. This is your permission slip to literally, instead of being perfect, let being honest be your guide. Be honest. Any moment, anytime, make sure your body, your access point is rooted in this unconditional love rather than people, right? And you are honest to this moment. You are convicted to this moment. But yeah, that is all. I have not spoken for 10 minutes straight in such a long time, so my throat is kind of, I drink a little bit of water here. But I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, and I will keep making more. Bye.